Also, I took this pivot off to check it and clean it, but this screw for the base is accessible with the pivot in place, so if you don't have to clean the pivot out and re-grease it or reassemble it, you don't have to take it off. You can just leave it in place. But which is good because these are plastic self-tapping screws, so as with all of them, we gotta take our time, make sure that we go back into the first thread they cut so that they're not, there we go, not cross-threading. And you'll note I put the bottom of the free arm back on, same 2 screws. And this is clean and oiled on the sewing machine side, so I should be able to test the sewing machine side soon. Scrubbed all the lithium grease out of the top of this, and I'm gonna apply some fresh super lube here. And the important part is that this stuff is not gonna harden the way that lithium does. And it's going to mean that we'll get a lot more service out of it. And I misread the thing or forgot the instructions, so the hand wheel pushes in, and that is the safety latch that keeps you from flipping between machine use when you are not ready to. So now when I'm holding the button in, I can rotate and shift all the way into serger. But I do need to finish oiling across the top. We've got a couple of regular spots still, so there's our stitch selecting slide here, and the front lever here that's for the buttonhole. And then on the back side, we've got our pivots that moved when I rotated us around into stretch stitch. And those are very stiff because they did not pop up at all. And that is kind of hiding back here under these 2 cables. So I'll try to get a shot of that. so you can see where that's hidden. I'm actually gonna get my hair dryer and aim some heat in there. To get that to start moving. And then there is a slide clutch here. So I'm going to oil both sides where that slides on the shaft. And then from the inside, our push button hand wheel latch. But this center sliding clutch is really important to oil so it'll go back and forth properly. Way down in here, so under these cables there's a couple pivots back here for the stretch stitch that you need to reach an oiler in and get, but they're almost impossible to see for the camera. Right, and then when you push the hand wheel in, it moves this trigger here. This trigger pulls a rod that is on a lock behind the selector wheel to prevent it from turning over to the around and shifting into serger mode while you're sewing. So make sure that, number one, your hand wheel slides nice, and that this link and the pawl, the locking pawl, which is, there's no way for me to get a camera shot of it. Make sure the locking pawl is moving freely to allow the machine to shift properly. Time to put our bobbin winder back on. So it's got this slider to grip that clutch, and you need to make sure that that engages on that clutch disc, and then you can put the two screws in to mount the bobbin winder again. And it's a bit of a pain because when it's popped over to disengage the clutch, of course, the winder is touching the hand wheel, so it forces it one way, but it's got the spring in it for sliding this clutch in and out, which pulls it the other way. So you just have to kind of work it back and forth as you install the two screws. And then I'll be able to set the lid on.